Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Now, if you've recently tried Dragon Age the Veilguard on Steam Deck and been a little bit disappointed with either the performance or the game in general, then you might have decided to go back and play Dragon Age Inquisition instead. This game runs great on Steam Deck, but there is an exception where the game doesn't actually recognize the gamepad controls of the Steam Deck by default. And this is also true of any external controller that you might try to connect. There have been a few fixes for this. It was fixed in some of the normal Proton GE releases, if you ever downloaded any of those. However, somewhere down the line, EA updated the game, and that seems to have messed things up again. Some versions now seem to work for some people, but it's not super consistent. So if you're having troubles like I was, then here is how I fixed it. Just to very quickly show you what happens normally, the game does launch fine. You might have to log into the EA launcher the first time, but after that it does get through okay and it makes it to the title screen. Now at that point you'll see that it's not possible to use any buttons or the joysticks. You can't press start or select anything, but the Steam Deck buttons and even external controllers have no luck. So in order to fix this, we need to get hold of a custom version of Proton. So what you want to do is you want to come out of the game, you want to go into desktop mode on your Steam Deck, and then do a search on Google for Dragon Age Inquisition Proton Cam More. You then want to go to this top link. It's a GitHub depository and it should say Proton Workaround v1.0.4. So you can see in the notes here that it does say the patch is now part of the regular GE Proton version, but like I mentioned before, EA have done some updates to the game and now it doesn't always seem to work. It's not very consistent. If you want to try that version instead, please do. It might work for you, and if you do want to try that, then the process is the same as this, so you can still follow along with the video, but I'm going to be using this version, which is specifically created for Dragon Age Inquisition, and that's the one that I've been using to play. It's worked for me and I can say for certainty that it works. So scroll down to Assets and click the top file to download it. Once you've got it downloaded, then we're going to go into the Linux file system and we want to go into the following folders. First go to Home, then .steam, then Steam, and then compatibilitytools.d. You might not have this last folder, the compatibilitytools.d, but if not, don't worry, you can just create it and that'll work fine. Once we've created this folder, then we want to go back to our Proton download and extract it here. We're nearly there now. Once we've extracted the folder into the compatibility tools, we can close these down and we can go back to game mode on Steam Deck. From there, find Dragon Age Inquisition, click the gear icon, then go to properties, head down to compatibility and tick the force the use of a specific compatibility tool button. Then in the drop down menu you should now have an option which is labeled DAI Proton 1.0.4. This is the tool that we want to select. This is how we get it working. If this isn't showing up, then just double check that you extracted the download into the right folder. That can sometimes be an issue. Now, like I said, if you've already got some of these standard GE Proton versions like I have, then you can give these a go too. Sometimes they work like I mentioned before, but sometimes they don't always work for people. It's a little bit inconsistent at the moment. But if you've already got these, then give this a go if you want first, and then if they don't work, you can always download this Dragon Age Inquisition specific version. And that is pretty much it. Come out of the settings, launch the game, and then when you reach the menu, you should find that the Steam Deck controls work perfectly. You can press start to get into the proper menu and start a new game or continue from there. And this is also true of any external controller that you want to connect. The only thing that can take a little bit of time to get used to is that you can't always use the D-pad to control menus. You have to use a joystick, which I found a little bit weird at first, but after a couple hours you get used to it. Other than that though, the game runs very nicely on Steam Deck, and you now have the option to play either Inquisition or Veilguard on your Steam Deck, whichever one you prefer. I did want to quickly say that this fix is only for Inquisition. Dragon Age Origins and Dragon Age 2 also don't have any controller support, and this won't fix them, sadly. We still don't have a great way to get those games running with controller input, but who knows, maybe someday we can always dream. This is also a bit of a workaround rather than a proper fix, so it may be that sometime in the future we have a better way to do this, or it's possible that EA might update the game again and that might break this fix too. Hopefully not, but at least for now we have this way to play using normal controls. Well, that's all for this video. I hope that it was useful and that you can now enjoy your journey as the Herald of Andraste. Thanks for watching and see you in the next one.